All right, boys, we're getting awful close to the start of the wild card round in the NFL. There are loads of best ball contests up on DraftKings. Of course, thanks to our friends over at DraftKings for sponsoring us for Playoff Best Ball Week. I did notice this. There is a new $3 contest that is 20 entry max in the lobby that looks like a stone lock to overlay. I believe that is a play action. So you can find me in those streets, honestly, probably after this stream. And we are going to do as we have been doing. We are going to try and find the absolute best teams that we can find in the $20 Millionaire Maker. We are going to attempt to make $1 million drafting playoff best ball teams. I've got the trusty sidekick pulled up in here, and I've had 24 hours away from you guys to sit and think like, okay, what is going to be my angle? How am I going to win the $20 million this year? And I'll tell you one thing that I have gotten pretty hip to. I alluded to this a little bit yesterday with Karain, and the sidekick does not super agree with me on this one. But I just am starting to get really in to JSN. And the Seahawks obviously have the best odds to reach the Super Bowl of any team. I think that is being underplayed by people like me who like to be a little mid IQ. I mean, let's just be real about it. It is a little bit mid IQ to say that the team that is most likely to get to the Super Bowl is overrated. I mean, I I I think I could probably defend it, but it just seems that a team that is plus 155 to win the NFC, the Rams are plus 225, the Broncos are plus 230, then everyone else is 400 or deeper on the DraftKings Sportsbook. And we will take McCaffrey on this one though. Um, the uh, the the place. Oh no, what's wrong? What's wrong with my clicker? Oops, something went wrong. I guess I will have to refresh. So ultimately where I have ended up, um oh, there we go. I got logged out. So I'm gonna have to log in again. Ultimately where I've ended up is that being that light on Seattle, being underweight on their most important fantasy football player, just does not really make any sense. And I've also started to, when the sidekick is giving me DeAndre Swift, when the sidekick is giving me Josh Jacobs, or honestly, actually even like Woody Marks, a lot of what I've been doing is been taking Zach Charbonnet or Kenneth Walker instead, just aiming to be a little bit higher on the Seattle Seahawks. Because I tell you what, my way of sweating this postseason is going to be so much different than in years past. Like in years past, you guys know me. Um, I've wanted the Kansas City Chiefs, right? I drafted the Chiefs, and I wanted Kansas City to make the Super Bowl. That was like number one. That was my number one rooting interest. That is no longer my number one rooting interest. You know, my number one rooting interest now is making making money. You know, I mean that's what it is all about right now. And I don't want to play dumb. And I feel that there are intelligent ways to get 49ers through, like a lot of intelligent ways to get sorry, not 49ers, a lot of intelligent ways to get the Seattle Seahawks through. Um wow, I have not done this build. Okay, we've got CMC and Drake May. How did we, I guess this guy went Barkley Hurts, this guy went JSN Nico. I mean, this is all right. We are in don't drop the baby territory right now with Christian McCaffrey, Drake May, and George Kittle. It is crazy that in years past we were fighting over drafting guys like Noah Gray. The game done changed. It's I will say the I think that even if you were someone who does not like the sidekick and didn't want to purchase it and said, you know, I don't think it's useful for me, or I just don't want to pay for it or whatever. I mean, I think the lessons we've learned from the sidekick sims are like insanely clear in terms of what the goal of an individual lineup should be. The goal of an individual lineup should be to have a lineup that projects awesome in the Super Bowl, not just a lineup that has guys in the Super Bowl. The old Patrick Mahomes, Kareem Hunt, Noah Gray, Marquez Valdez-Scantling teams. I mean, tell me out there that you guys haven't done that one. Like, those teams stink. My God, man. Oh, come on. Give me Diggs. Give me Diggs here. Give me Diggs, give me Jennings. This is about to be one of the best teams I've drafted yet, I think. Come on. You Dong Slayer. What is this guy doing? This poor fella. He's got no earthly idea. All right, give me Diggs. Then I believe this guy next to me, not even I believe, I know, this fella next to me, T Belangia, he has been a fantasy sports grinder for a long time. In fact, he used to write articles at the same website that I did when I graduated college. Fantasy Insiders, owned and operated by old Soccer Dave. All right, so I got snapped there on the Drake May stuff. So we are going to take Jennings here. And there's a chance, if this room is playing it right, that I get there would be a chance here that we might be able to get Purdy all the way back around. Do I think that you, Karain, and Rotopat will do leg up playoff previews again? So correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Karain replaced his playoff preview show that he used to do with Kyle Dvorak and Daniel Raz and Sacrilegious. I believe he changed all that up to do the show with Rich Rebar. So I'm thinking we probably won't. Now, if Karain wants to do that with me, or if Rotopat, if that's set up, then yeah, we definitely will. PJ has a May Hendo Diggs CMC Kittle team with Jennings and Pearsall drafted weeks ago, but that will be my most coveted team that will somehow lose by 1.5 points. Yeah, I tell you what, a team like this, I am way more likely to take a couple extra advance rate pieces at the end, just because I want to get this team through. I would have taken Jacobs because I don't think the room is interested in taking Niners from you. Well, luckily, I'll be able to take Woody Marks. I'll be able to take Luther Burden. I'll be able to take Sharps. There will be plenty of opportunities for me to add in Kenny Gainwell. Plenty of ways to add in additional advance rate pieces here. Now, interesting to see Burden over an AFC piece here. Feels like an AFC piece would be better. And in fact, well, I'm going to add Burden in, and then I'm going to see, because I do like Burden as an advance rate piece. But yeah, so then we do Loveland. Well, I guess we'll see. Gotta hope Pearsall doesn't get sniped for me. Pearsall's pretty important to this team. I don't, obviously I do not draft a ton of Steelers, Andrew, but I do like Kenneth Gainwell. I do feel that Kenneth Gainwell is just a really strong bet in round one for like probably a minimum of 8 DraftKings points, with like a median projection of like 13.5, a ceiling projection of like 25. He and Warren obviously are both really good floor pieces that you can get in the last round. And like I said, with this team, May, McCaffrey, Diggs, Jennings, Kittle, Burden, and Loveland, where I will probably end up adding in Caleb Williams as well. Like, this is just a really good team. If I take one more, if I take one more Patriots player, I have an amazing Super Bowl. Okay, I was gonna say, why did the sidekick not have me take Stevenson? And it's because he went at pick 24. Kenneth Gainwell is now back to being the most important man in the world. It's true. So I definitely need to take one more Patriot or 49er. And I hope that the Clanker recognizes that. I think it will. Where I would maybe disagree or not disagree, where I would maybe just sacrifice a little bit of, I guess, expected EV would be taking someone like Demarcus Robinson or Brian Robinson on this team just to give me the complete 49ers Super Bowl with Diggs and Burden as the big advance rate pieces here. Okay, so we are actually gonna do Charbonnet's kind of like an interesting bet here. Um, let's do so this guy behind me is more likely to take Booty than he is to take Caleb Williams because he's setting up the New England stuff. So I'm gonna take Booty. It would be strange of him to take Caleb Williams because he has two Jags, two Patriots. There you go. So he does Quorum and Higbee. Now we are gonna do Caleb Williams. And we have what? Should we have 2 picks left? 3 picks left with May, McCaffrey, Diggs, Jennings, Kittle, Burden, Loveland, Booty, and Caleb Williams. Yeah, and then it's just going to start feeding me nothing but advance rate pieces after that point. Isn't the theory that overdrafting JSN and going against the Sims, not saying this is overdrafting is what you're doing, is that the advance rate in 1 out of 6 isn't high enough over replacement? I mean, I think ultimately why the Sims would be a little bit lower on JSN and on the Seahawks in general would be that you are, as you were stating, you're giving up a lot of EV just nuking your first round advance rate odds. Like in 1 of 6, it's really hard to advance in your pod. JSN is an expensive pick. Honestly, even Ken Walker is relatively expensive. So it's just very hard to advance. And if you are advancing lightly, well, then you can't win, right? I mean, it sounds stupid, but it kind of really is that simple. Um, and I think maybe the way I would explain it is that I almost take a more projection agnostic way of viewing advancing round 1, which is honestly probably stupid of me. But sort of the way I think of advancing round 1 is like someone is always going to be Jake Ferguson, and maybe you get lucky and maybe you don't. Yes. So I was hoping Sharbs would pop to the top here because now Charbonnet becomes a really interesting second and third round advance rate piece for this team. If we assume both the Patriots and the 49ers win their round 1 matchup, Charbonnet is just like a cool, he just becomes like a nice little advance rate piece here. Wow. I mean, that's how Keep the Chief is a real one. He's not even playing playoff best ball, but he's here hanging out just for the good vibrations. Now, Demario Douglas and Olamide Zaccheaus add on to our next stack. Warren would be, I suppose that Warren would be probably the advance rate piece. All right, how many 49ers do I have? So I have one. Well, actually, how many Patriots? 1, 2, 3. So if we add in, I guess, I honestly, it just doesn't matter. Honestly, I guess I would say looking at it is that the way that this team built is this final pick is just kind of gravy. Will I be live for the wild card playoff DFS slate Saturday morning? Maybe. Hadn't thought about it until you just said it. But yeah, you know what? I'll give you a hard maybe on that one. And instead of Demario Douglas, I'm actually just going to take Austin Hooper. If Packers Eagles win, can Rams survive 2 East Coast road games? Sure, why not? I mean, I would imagine they probably wouldn't even go home. I would imagine that the most likely scenario is that if they know they're playing 2 East Coast road games, that they will just stay. I think that if I remember correctly, I believe that is the way lots of these teams have done things in the past. Does Nick Chubb have a pulse? Honestly, I think Jawar Jordan probably has more of a pulse. than Nick Chubb. You know, the Texans are a really fascinating team in playoff best ball. The Texans have this great defense, but they do not score any fantasy points. I mean, it really is like, go, you know, if we just pull up the Texans Pro Football Reference page and we look, so they're 12-5 this year. I mean, look at this. They were first in first downs allowed. They were third in turnovers generated, first in yards allowed, second in points allowed. How many times did they score? So 44, 40, 38, 36. So 4 times they got over 26. They had the same amount of games with 20 points as less than 20 points. They had no rusher with more than 700 yards. Nico Collins led them in receiving with 1,117 in 15 games. Then it was Dalton Schultz at 700. Then they have Higgins, Hutchinson, Knoll, Kirk, and Marks. I mean, they're just a mess, really. Yes, and I mean, this is a big issue with the Houston Texans, and I take a lot of Woody Marks because I actually think that the Houston Texans have this pretty interesting path to the Super Bowl. But I mean, dude, Woody Marks, this dude, 0 100-yard receiving games. He had, what's that? 6 games with more than 2 receptions, including a 2 reception for 0-yard game. His most receiving yards in a game was 50, and that was like basically you know, an accident, more or less. Like not something that you think is super repeatable. He had the one multi-touchdown game against the Titans, only 5 touchdowns overall. Like I wish that I wish that he was good. I wish that he was better. Um well, yes. I mean, this is of course self-evident. If the Texans make the Super Bowl, you are going to want Woody Marks, you are going to want Dalton Schultz, you're going to want Christian Kirk. You might even want Jalen Knoll, right? But they are just sort of unlikely to be the advance rate pieces. I would say the funny thing about the Texans is that the Texans' whole starting lineup, other than Nico Collins, is kind of Noah Gray's. Where like, I don't know. I mean, here I can actually just pull up Run the Sims and see what these dudes are projecting for. What do we think? What do we think the projections for the Texans offensive players in this first round of the playoffs is? I'm assuming that Adam has done a little bit of work on these. He might not have. Actually, doesn't. So Adam has done like no work on these. But even still, so these are last week's projections. Woody Marks 13, and this is with Nico out. So with Nico out, Jaden Higgins for 11, Dalton Schultz for 11, Christian Kirk for 8, Xavier Hutchinson for 5. So that is last week's projections. You know, it's like they can definitely help you and they can definitely make the Super Bowl, but you almost are kind of drafting them like a bye week team. When I draft a team like the Bills, for example, with a bunch of weak players, I just treat it similar to a bye week team, prioritize advance rate pieces. Yeah, I mean, ball, dude. You are absolutely correct. Like I think treating the Texans that way, I think is pretty intelligent. Which is not to say that you like I guess there is kind of a compounding effect with those Texans players though, where you are likely to get like at least like one random explosion. Like, oh, because CJ Stroud actually does like to throw the ball deep. His average depth of target and his like throws beyond the sticks are pretty good. I should be able to pull that up somewhere on Pro Football Reference. Seasons passing advanced. Let's see here. His completed air yards per completion was what? Not as high as you would think. Intended air yards per pass attempt. Do I have? I guess I'd probably have to pull up. I'd probably have to pull up Pro Football Focus to get that right number there, though. But Stroud is not a check down guy, so you can get the random Jaden Higgins, Dalton Schultz explosion. What draft number is this for me today on DraftKings? I think this should be like draft number 20 or something like that right now. I think this contest is gonna fill. Well, I know it's gonna fill. I think it's gonna fill early. So my plan today is to stream with you guys for a while. And you know what? I've been talking all this shit. Let's do it. Let's do a JSN team. Um, my plan today is draft with you guys for a while, sit here, hang out. I think I'm gonna go to lunch with my wife and my baby. Get him out of the house, get some sunshine in his face. Then I think I'm gonna come back to my desk and I'm gonna hammer out some drafts. No, you know what? We'll do that. We'll do that next. I will do. There's a new $100 single entry DraftKings playoff best ball in the lobby, and I think that we will do that next. I am 10 minute. I'm not doing the gauntlet. I will do the mitten and stuff, but I mean it's got to be JSN Drake May, right? I know why the sidekick wanted Adams, but it's got to be JSN Drake May. This is a damning report from Rap Sheet about the Ravens head coaching search. I mean the quiet the thing that everyone knew about the Ravens situation was that Lamar and Harbaugh did not like each other, and Lamar won that battle. And Harbaugh was probably getting fired even if they won that Week 18 game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, looking for someone to reach and invigorate Lamar. I mean, hey man, I could see being Lamar. I could see Lamar just being like, dude, this sucks. I just get beat by the Chiefs every year. It's horrible, you know? This is actually not true about Justin Tucker. I think you forgot this in the end. Justin Tucker was like basically the worst kicker in the league when he got cut, and that's the only reason that the team cut him. He in 2024 made what was it? Yeah, 73% of his field goals in 2024. He was basically the worst kicker. Like 74% is unreal. So bad. Here we go. And we are going to add in one Mr. Stephon Diggs to Drake May and JSN. This is how you do a JSN team. Yeah, imagine the Titans interviewing Jason Garrett. Insane. If the Kansas City Chiefs do not hire Cliff Kingsbury to be the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, I would like Stefanski to do it. I know people respect Harbaugh, but a well-coached team does not lose the games that the Ravens always find a way to lose each year. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Joe Chris says that Schultz is probably the best advanced sleeper tight end with the matchup against Pittsburgh. Don't you think it's Gadsden on DraftKings, Joe? It's got to be Gadsden over Schultz, right? It's, you know what? It's pretty close. It's pretty close between the two of them. Gadsden is just cheaper. You can normally get Arondé Gadsden the second with your final pick of a given draft. All right, bang, Trevion Henderson. We are building a monster here. JSN, Drake May, Stephon Diggs, Trevion Henderson. And see if we had taken Devontae Adams here instead of giving him to Carco Vice over there, we would have been setting up another Packers team probably. Why does it feel like there's an unspoken Rooney Rule where teams have to interview at least one awful head coach candidate? It's because everyone in the NFL knows each other. So something that you and I would think is a terrible head coaching hire, some of these front office guys are like, well, how can my buddy Jason be a bad head coach when I had such a good time at dinner with him the other night? Right? Like at the end of the day, it's a big club and these dudes are all in it. And that's why you see that's why Matt Nagy is about to get this job despite flaming out in Chicago, being actively bad as a play caller in Kansas City or as an offensive coordinator in Kansas City. He's about to go get the Titans job. You know, that's the way she goes. All right, so Sidekick is offering me Jacobs and Swift. Is there anything I'd want to do? You know what? Do I maybe? Dang, where'd Ramondre go? Dang, you just cannot get Ramondre anymore. So instead of doing, well, I'm gonna leave this up to the room actually. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take. Well, I was gonna say maybe I take. I don't have a tight end yet. Is there an NFC tight end? No. All right. Well, I got scared. I was gonna say I was maybe gonna take Walker there. Yeah, as Thomas says, it's a Nepo league. The Nepo football league. All right, so we got Jacobs in there. I am gonna be a little screwed at tight end here. So I'll probably end up. What I'll probably do is I'll probably take 3 tight ends on this team. One of them being a Rams tight end. Burden. No. So what I'm gonna do now is instead of taking Burden, I'm gonna take Walker because we have round 1 wide receiver points will be a little bit behind, but the rounds after that will be okay. But I've got my 2 Seahawks now, and then once I take AJ Barner, I'll have a Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl. Could always be Dawson Knox season, brother. Always, always. So we've got May, Hendo, JSN, Diggs getting snapped off on Ramondre and Henry on a May team sucks. So I guess thinking NFC tight ends, we've got that's the thing. NFC tight ends, you start to run out pretty quickly. It's always Austin Hooper. Do I think a mid-late 27 first added to the 103 to move up to the 101 is worth it? Is this super flex, Alex? Is that super flex or non-super flex? And is it tight end premium? All right, Christian Watson up here. I guess he just becomes a pure advance rate guy there. Uh I personally would say no, Alex, unless all right, I'm going to take Christian Watson. I would say no to that trade unless the team, like if you think the team can win this upcoming 2026 season, I would do it. But I would say you definitely lose like the value on that trade, which not to say you shouldn't do it. Um, like I've got a league where I traded last year. I traded 3 firsts to the 101 to get Ginty, and I won the league this year because I just needed a running back who was going to get 16 points a week. Would I trade the 104 and the 101 for Bowers and tight end premium? No. Definitely not Artillery Frost. Not I remember that team you're talking about. I would definitely not do that. Do I draft 2 quarterback teams in this build? Yeah, my plan, well, so I was about to say yes, but then Darnold just went here to this guy on the corner, so I probably won't now. Well, maybe. So we are gonna do. We'll do Dalton Schultz as our advance rate piece here, I guess, and then we're gonna come back around and take AJ Barner. Well, maybe we're not gonna take Barner now. I was all set to take 2 quarterbacks, and then wow, this guy has double bye week quarterbacks. Oh, I think this guy's auto drafting. James Cook, AJ Brown, RJ Harvey, Dallas Goedert, Dalton Kincaid, Bo Nix, Lad McConkey, Sam Darnold. I mean, maybe he's got a plan that I don't see, but well, we probably will end up doing 2 quarterbacks actually. Well, I probably will end up taking Jordan Love or CJ Stroud on this one. And looks like Caleb got taken as well. Sometimes that's the way she goes. Frickin' AJ Barner went. Oh, they're killing me, bro. They're killing me here. I got nothing. All right, we will select Jordan Loverino here. So there you go. There's the second quarterback. Oh, I was gonna say, did it want me to take DK Metcalf? I think it did want me to take DK Metcalf actually. Yeah, because what we're gonna do, because we have Jacobs, so what we're gonna do now is we are gonna finish the draft with 3 straight Packers. So we've got 5 Packers, which ends up being a Patriots Packers Super Bowl. Yeah, DK drafts are kind of sending me right now. I'm not loving it. Well, I am loving it, but you just have to be prepared for what you're getting into. Like, these are in general, when you are playing draft games where you have a limited set of options and your opponents have the like first right of refusal on them, you get most of your expected value from your opponents making mistakes, but it's just annoying when they make mistakes that get in your face. DraftKings draft week is going to run until Friday, until January 10th. We are officially sponsored by DraftKings here on the channel. What kind of ad for him would I want then? 103 and 27 first. I mean, I would say I instead of a pick, I would probably just want I would just want a good player, maybe like a wide receiver 2 or whatever. The 103 is going to be a really good pick this year, Alex. Like Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon or Mendoza. These are pretty good super flex assets. You're not giving up nothing for Jeremiah Love. All right. We're up. We're going to take Romeo Dubs here. So we have May, Henderson, JSN, Diggs, Schultz, Jacobs, Walker. Man, I wish instead of the Packers here, I actually wish that I would have went with an AFC team. I wish I would have went with the Chargers or something to make the Seahawks stuff work. But yes, certified DGen. You are 100% correct. It is it's real tough to build a really good JSN team, which I think is why, not even I think, I know that is why the sidekick is much lighter on the Seahawks than you would think. Yeah, I can do a full Packers team now. How much would I add to the 101 to trade 4 Bowers? I mean, I would add a lot, but I just wouldn't do it on that team you were talking about. When your team is coming off of a giga tank, it is tempting. It is very tempting in Dynasty when you're giga tanking to try and speed the process up. And it makes a little bit of sense, but I would what I wouldn't do is if your starting lineup still has zeros in it, I wouldn't do multiple firsts for Bowers. Scott just got a Puka, Stafford, Adams, Kyron team. Is that happening now? It happens a little bit. I would say maybe 1 out of every 8 drafts or something now. All right, so that was not a super well executed JSN team. But we are going to stay in the salt mines. Oh, yes. All right, let's do our spy here. So let's do our $100 single entry best ball team on DraftKings. Let's see if you guys can hop in here. These single entry playoff best balls are really interesting. Like single entry playoff best ball strategy does kind of come down to how much do you want your $100 back? Do you just draft it like a normal team? Or are you instead trying to just get your money back, advance, let the money fall where it may? Yes, plan is to do the betting show with Reeves this week. Yeah, that is the plan. If this doesn't fill, I guess we can. I guess maybe while we wait, we can pull up a DraftKings Millie and see how long it takes us to fill. Because now it's only one of six, and the Millie is filling quickly. Let's see. Right now, it is what 149,000 of 176,000. So, damn, it's really coming. It might fill by the end of today. I guess maybe tomorrow. I mean, I think everyone sort of universally is anticipating Darnold folding up in the postseason. Doesn't everyone just sort of think that Sam Darnold is not going to get it done? That's the only reason why there is this pessimism about a 14-win team that's a 1 seed that's probably going to have a pretty easy matchup in round 2 at home. Considering the pod sizes go down as you advance, you really just have to try and draft the best team for round 1 and see where it goes. Yeah, I think that's true. Yes, as Joe King says, it's cool to anticipate Darnold will be Darnold. Where do I have Kenyon, Sadiq, and Mendoza in relation to the wide receivers in the dynasty rookie drafts? I would say my thought right now is that I probably would say I would have them Jeremiah Love 1. I would have the USC wide receiver 2, maybe Tyson 2, the 2 wide receivers, then Mendoza, then Sadiq. That's my thought right now, but I am early in researching these prospects. It's pretty early on. The sidekick's a late warm up to the Bears. Well, it's a good matchup, right? It's pretty good. It's a pretty good matchup for the Bears. Well, I don't know. Would you say it's a good matchup, or would you say it's just a matchup they can win? I don't know about good matchup. No Carnell Tate. Yeah, Tate's right there. I personally would probably have Lemon and Tyson ahead of Carnell Tate, but I'm obviously I'm willing to like change my prior on that. And like I said, like I am just now starting to do like non vibes based actual like data backed research on these prospects. Like I watch a lot of college football, but that's not the same thing as like having like a falsifiable opinion of these dudes. What team has the best first game matchup? I mean, the Rams. The Rams are 10.5 point favorites. Well, I thought Tyson had a hamstring injury. I didn't know it was a knee injury. All right, so we're drafting out of the 6 slot on this one. Christian McCaffrey is still on the board. All right, all I need is drooling mastiffs to lose his mind here for a second. We're about to get a 6-hole CMC team. CMC JSN could be sick. Oh, damn. Wow, I got Christian McCaffrey. Holy shit. Christian McCaffrey on the right side of the board with James Cook. Yeah, wow. This is a rare combo. This is a very rare combo of players. I don't think Mike McDaniel not being fired is a surprise, personally. Mike McDaniel is one of the best play callers in all of football. Caleb Williams is not better than Jordan Love. Gotta say I disagree, brother. Gotta say you have a disagreeer in me. I think that I think Caleb Williams is quite honestly a lot better, actually. That's just my opinion, though. Everyone has their own opinions and can say and do as they think, but I'm a big Caleb Williams believer. No, I actually like Jordan Love as well. I would say Mike McDaniel is definitely better than fine. Mike McDaniel, for sure, one of the best play callers in the NFL. Yeah, who I guess, I mean, if Miami hired Harbaugh, I guess he's probably a better and more proven coach than Mike McDaniel. But his teams have kind of made some of the same lackadaisical errors that we've seen elsewhere. I mean, not only is CMC sliding and people are cooling on the Niners, like all of the money is coming in on the Eagles. Like everyone and their mom thinks that the Eagles are going to be winning the Super Bowl. Yes, I mean this is also my dream, but it sounds like the most likely thing in Kansas City is that Matt Nagy is going to go, and according to Nate Taylor, Mahomes wants the recently fired Cliff Kingsbury to be hired as the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, which I would love because they just need some new idea. Holy shit, dude. All right. Please do not drop the baby, Davis. We just got George Kittle with James Cook and CMC. Yeah, I think you just got to take Purdy here. You can't risk dropping the baby here. We are absolutely cooking right here. Look at this. DraftKings, send me my my chop of $1 million right now. We need it. Oh, you can't. I don't think you should be lukewarm on Cliff. Cliff is going to be a very good play caller for Pat. I mean, everyone knows this, but Cliff was Pat's coach in college when Mahomes was mechanically a little bit unsound, but posting the most video game stats ever. Hey, Nagy to the Raiders. I mean, as long as I get him out of Kansas City. Easy to get the 49er stack when you're drafting on site credits. Tolan, I think your internet's messed up, brother. I don't think it's just a green screen. Is anyone else on Twitch getting errors right now? Yeah, this is S tier. I just have to find a way to not drop the baby. So we're gonna get Jennings, and then once we get Jennings, it should. Wow, holy shit. Okay, so once I get Jennings, I'm assuming it's gonna tell me to take Kincaid now or Shakir, because I'm definitely taking. Yeah, so it wants Shakir over Kincaid. Huh. Kincaid gives more possible lineup combos. Yeah, I'm taking Kincaid over Shakir. Imagine that I just lost $1 million because Shakir outscores Kincaid in the Super Bowl. Really, really hope not. Yes, but what this does now, so now that I just took Kincaid, this now opens up. I could do a full Packers team. I could do a full Bears team. Taking the tight end allows you to do more structurally later. But I mean, is Shakir even good? Jackson Haas vulturing all the touchdowns just cost you $1 million. If Shakir and Kincaid cost me $1 million, you guys can all come back here and remind me. Yeah, I think Kincaid played last week, right? Didn't he? I think Kincaid is good to go. Dalton Kincaid in week 18. Yeah, Kincaid's fine. All right. DK Metcalf, huh? I'm gonna take Pearsall and then see if it still wants me to take Metcalf. That's what I thought. I thought it might transition. I mean, Metcalf is still gonna be available later. All right, I'll do Caleb. And then we can add in some Bears pieces if we want. Kincaid played that first series with Allen and the other guys who rested. Then he left. He played 10 snaps. So Kincaid played with the starters and then popped out. Kittle, Kincaid, CMC, Cook, only 3 hit the lineup in the Super Bowl. That's why I took Pearsall, brother. But also, we could build this out in such a way. We could also add in another AFC team and build this out. Which question, brother? Name no one cares about. Which question? Is there a super low buy-in way too early or right after the draft? There'll be the little board. During the playoffs. Yes, we are worried about Ferguson shares because he's legitimately injured. Yeah, Terrence Ferguson legitimately injured. He's got a hamstring injury, and I believe he did not practice on Wednesday. All right, and then still with the Metcalf, huh? So it just really wants me to find a way to advance, I guess, is what's happening here. It's saying, all right, you have no wide receiver points. You need to find a way to advance. Tedderoy McMillan. Yeah, I'm not loving it. I think we're gonna do Rome. Yeah. That was better than doing T-Mac. Is Quorum being slept on? I definitely think so. I draft a lot of Quorum. All the other smart people think that I'm dumb for drafting Quorum. They think that Quorum projects like meaningfully worse than Kyron Williams and that he's a Super Bowl only play. I am not drafting any J.K. Dobbins. It feels like a bet that is way too thin for me. You need him to come back. You need him to come back as the starter. And then you need him to also score fantasy points, which is a hard parlay for him to hit, in my opinion. I don't think Woody Marks is being slept on because Woody Marks is really bad. If Woody Marks ever scored any fantasy points, I would agree. But like the Texans could win the Super Bowl and he might never top 10 points, which pains me as a guy who has drafted a lot of Woody Marks because I do think the Texans can. Oh, damn. I was about to take Amari Hampton there. Can I still take DJ Moore, Josh Palmer, Jalen Warren? All right, Jalen Warren it is. Jalen Warren, then what? Pat Bryant. I don't know. I just really want to advance this team. Honestly, I really want to advance this team. So we're gonna do Jaden Reed, Romeo Dubs. You know what? Whatever. I'll do Pat Bryant. Sure, whatever. Did not have a strong opinion there. All right. Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, James Cook, Dalton Kincaid, Caleb Williams, DK Metcalf, Roma Dunze, Jalen Warren, Pat Bryant. shipper. Why is Hampton falling? I assume just because people think that he is going to only get one game and then not score that many points in the game that he does play. All right. Still no luck in the spy. So I guess maybe we're not going to get that done today. Does anyone want to hop in the spy? Hear you on the thin Dobbins bets, but these are the leverage spots where all the money is made. A super thin bet like this might turn a 1K win into 1 million. Yeah, it just feels like there are plenty of those type of bets to be made. All right, there we go. 5 of 6. All right. Do I take any one quarterback teams with a sidekick? Sometimes. Yeah, I did already do the spy. This is the spy 2. Contest details. How much to first? $10,000 to first if you win. What's the advanced structure here? Well, it's going to be cascading 1 of 6, but here we go. All right. How many times has the he'll be back if we make the Super Bowl guy panned out? I don't know. I assume almost never. Literally, I assume it's literally almost never happened. I can't think of an example where it has. Oh, Hampton is hurt and Harbaugh was sounding really weird. All right, I did not know that. Terrell Owens in 05. All right. Well, there you go. The DK flagship is big time filling, Tolan. It's very close. I would guess that it probably fills tomorrow, the DK flagship. Yeah, Monty last year is what happens. They come back and they got nothing in the tank. All right, so we're drafting out of the 2 slot here with Assassin, T Polak, Triple D 317, who has a Buffalo Bills avatar, John 77C, and Tom Jam McLaughlin. To be fair, yeah, Harbaugh does always sound weird. I agree the Kyron projection is more fragile. Very few other smart people agree with me on that. Almost everyone, as we take CMC here, almost everyone who I've told that I've drafted a bunch of Blake Corum says that I'm stupid for doing so. So, choose your fighter. Like, I bet ETR has Corum below market value. I have a suspicion that all the NFC games are under 30 points total. Under 30 points total. That'd be crazy. Oh, they removed the Q tag from Hampton. Well, let me see if I can find an update. Amarian Hampton. Let's see if I can find a Roto World blurb on him being hurt. Nothing on Roto World. Oh, there you go. All right, good news. ETR is higher on both Kyron and Corum. Percy Harvin kickoff return against the Broncos in 2014. I have a loose memory of that double minor. Very loose memory. Percy Harvin was this surprises no one. He is such a Davis Maddox style player, but I loved Percy Harvin. Things condense so much in the postseason. I can see Kyron playing the entire game. Completely agree. I assume this will be a stay in your lane DK draft because this is $100 and not $20, but you never know. Well, ETR is right about this. Higbee is indeed the top Rams tight end. I was thinking maybe that was not the case for a little while. I was wrong. He immediately ascended as their top tight end upon coming back from injury. And rather than being stubborn about it, I am just going to take my lumps on the T Ferguson teams that I have drafted and move forward from there. All right. I'm going to try and do the Drake May thing again if T Polak 25 lets me know. He probably won't. He actually should take Nico Collins, I think. I don't know if he will. Well, all right. Harbaugh said the other day Hampton is doing his best to get back as soon as possible. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to do the Kittle thing. So we basically already know what our team is going to be here. Any thoughts on the New England receiver flyers? I mean, Booty would be the top. I actually would prefer, I think, Kyle Williams to pop into Chisholm because if he does get there, it will be via a big, long touchdown. Like it'll probably be like a 45-yard touchdown or something like that. All right, so McCaffrey, Kittle. Now, is Mr. Assassin going to take Nico or is he going to take ETN? He takes Henderson. So we take Nico Collins then. All right, so this sets up what I guess a Texans 49ers Texans, and we just have to assume we don't get sniped on Purdy here. The move is just to draft multiple of the Rams tight ends that will catch a TD almost every game they play. Yeah. I mean, they are very, 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 very involved in the red zone. That much is true. All right, so Triple D does Allen, AJ Brown, Hurts. So he's hoping to get Goddard and Devonta, which I think will actually probably work out for him. These guys over here are going to feel the squeeze at quarterback. It's always hard to get locked out at quarterback. Could be wrong, but I think we'll see very little Kyle Williams in the playoffs, too mistake prone. I mean, honestly, Mike, you're probably right. Probably what will happen in the postseason for the Patriots. You know who we're probably going to see a lot of in the postseason? Kyle Williams. Or not Kyle Williams, sorry. Austin Hooper. We'll see Austin Hooper. We'll see Jack Westover, the blocking fullback. We're gonna get a lot of that, I fear. Because that's what teams do in the postseason. They basically they just get tight. You condense your personnel, you know. I mean, we see this in the NBA all the time. You know, teams go down to 8-man rotations. They stop playing the young guys. Oh, Hooper is definitely not unreasonable on DraftKings at all. I think Hooper is really strong on DraftKings. All right, so we are we are actually kind of screwed if this guy takes Purdy. So we're gonna do Purdy Jennings. Man, you know what I kind of want to do? This guy behind me is gonna hate it. I'm actually gonna pull an audible here. The sidekick is not going to see this one coming. But I'm gonna set us up to maybe get sniped on Jennings. I just think we're unlikely to get sniped on Jennings. And I'm going to take Ramondre Stevenson because I think this guy behind me would have taken him. Yeah, I am going to... The thing is I don't know if I can get Purdy past John 77C because John might just need a quarterback. John might just want quarterback points. I don't know. I could try and push it. What do you guys think? Do I try and push Purdy one more round? Do I take Jennings and try and push it one more round? I'm tempted. And you know what? If Purdy goes, all right, winners push, take him here, push. Well, so if I don't get Jennings, I'm really light on wide receiver points. If I don't get Purdy, all right. All right. If I don't get Purdy, the team is screwed. Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right, we're pushing it. We're pushing it. And if Jennings goes, he goes. It's just I mean, obviously if I push it, I feel great. But if I miss on Purdy, this team can't win this contest, right? Maybe it can do okay, but it can't win. And if it can't win, yeah, exactly. You needed Purdy. Yeah, if you miss on Purdy, it then becomes a Houston stack. Yeah. 19 team final, quarterback way more important. I mean, yeah. Oh, I agree, Baxter. Yeah, if Stevenson cooks in round 1 and Henderson does not cook against the Chargers, it's going to be really interesting for advance rate. All right, we're sweating one pick. I need T Polak to just he should take anyone other than Jennings. Jennings makes no sense for his New England team. He might do it, but he really shouldn't. Wow, there you go. That's how it's done, boys. That's how it's done. Juwan Jennings, bang. Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Nico Collins, Ramondre Stevenson, Brock Purdy, Juwan Jennings. Let's go. And I'm also gonna try now. I'm for sure gonna try and push Pearsall because I can make this up in other ways. And now I need to try and get some round 1 wide receiver points, probably on the AFC side of the bracket. So I can give myself multiple bites at the apple. I know why the sidekick wants Pearsall. Marks also sets us up really well. Marks gives us more running back points, gives us another potential Super Bowl matchup. And I already have the Houston stuff set up. So I think I'm going to do Marks over Pearsall. Yeah, I'm going to do Marks over Pearsall. So now we got Marks added on. And if we get Ricky P, we get Ricky P. Well, I can do Metcalf. I can do Tet. I can do later. Thoughts on Burden over Moore? Feels like Moore could be what Ladd was last playoff. Also feel like Ladd could do it again, or DK. I am Burden over DJ Moore 100% of the time, personally. Ladd, I think, is going to have a hard time being the guy you need this year because I just don't know. Like, even if the Chargers are losing for the entirety of the game, like the Chargers just their offensive line is so bad. They can't throw. They have the worst offensive line in football. 32 out of 32 offensive line grade. Okay. So I guess the question that I've got to ask myself now is, do I keep trying to build out Houston stuff, or do I just want to advance this team? Do I just want to say, hey man, I just paid $100 to enter this contest and I want to give myself the best chance to advance this team. Even if the 49ers lose, by the way, do I want to give myself? Yes, I definitely need more round 1 wide receiver help. That is for sure true. This probably ends up becoming a T-Mac team. All right, so we add in Ricky, and now we can just start. Honestly, I could probably spam 3 more wide receivers. Yeah, which I think I will. And if I get snapped on Schultz, I get snapped on Schultz. Because the thing I need more is I need wide receivers. Nico is going to be doing a lot of heavy lifting on this team. Purdy's going to be doing a lot of heavy lifting on this team. Let's do. I mean, I can take Metcalf. Could probably wait. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's just take Metcalf. Lock in those round 1 points for Metcalf. Spy such a small field. Just feels like you need live pieces more than the pure nuts. 100. Yes. 100%. Yeah, this is going to end up being a Ted ass team. So now Caleb is coming in again just for advance rate stuff. I think I'm assuming the reason why it likes Caleb is for advance rate stuff. Now I'm surprised that it doesn't also have Schultz as an option here. DK with Houston is literally just to get me through the first round on this team. That's all. It's purely to get through the first round. Man, Caleb up there. Yes, and either way, I guaranteed some second round points there. Yeah, 100% Baxter. You are 100% correct. The Texans are not going to score any points, and then they are going to end up being okay, so we take Caleb Williams. That gives us a little bit more advance rate stuff. And then I was going to say, even if it doesn't give me Schultz, I'm going to take Dalton Schultz. Because I could add Schultz, Jaden Higgins here and have a bunch of pieces active in round 2. People are saying it more and more. You can't win the money if you can't get out of the first. All right. I freaking knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was going to want me to take Tet. And I might still take Tet in the last round, but I'm going to take Schultz first here. I mean, maybe. Oh my God. Oh, dagger. All right. Well, do I add Jaden Higgins instead? Jaden Higgins not even in the queue here. I'm gonna add Jaden Higgins because Troy Franklin doesn't do anything for me. I care more about advancing than getting a Troy Franklin team in this final. So I had Jaden Higgins. So the team is Purdy, McCaffrey, Nico, Jennings, Kittle, Ramondre, Marks, Pearsall, Metcalf, Caleb Williams, Jaden Higgins. I thought it would maybe give me some more tight end. I think I'm gonna do Gadsden here over Ingram again, just for points. More potential round 1 points. I've been and Tet goes anyways because I've been saying this whole time that I think Gadsden is a potentially good round 1. Komet is a stack, but not great round 1 points. You know, and I am pretty interested in round 1 points on this team. You find out who you really like in a $100 draft. I tell you what. That's how she goes. I just don't even love Tet that much for round 1 points, if I'm being honest. He's fine. But do I want 2 pure round 1 guys in Metcalf and Tet? I don't know. All right. Evan Ingram goes. So Gadsden is going to be at the top of the queue anyway. All right. So we have Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Nico Collins, Juwan Jennings, George Kittle, Ramondre Stevenson, Woody Marks, Ricky Pearsall, DK Metcalf, Caleb Williams, Jaden Higgins, and Aronde Gadsden. So we have 5 49ers. So if this team makes it to the Super Bowl, it'll have at least 5. It's got Metcalf for advancement. It's basically this is set up a San Francisco Houston Super Bowl, or a San Francisco New England Super Bowl, actually, with Ramondre in there. So we've got some outs. Honestly, I don't remember. Is there even a way to look? Like, if I go, can I actually see my roster? I didn't even know. All right, I've got 2 hours left there. Can I will it let me pull it up? Here we go. My other spy is Drake May, Trevion Henderson, Puka, Booty, Henry, Stevenson, Swift, Bird. Oh, it was a Derrick Henry team. Caleb Williams, Gadsden, Demario Douglas. So it was a full Patriots team. My other one was a full Patriots team. Full Patriots with Bears and Gadsden. All right. Well, there you go. You live and you learn. I think that went well. I think that was I don't feel like I dropped the baby on that one, and now we're drafting another one out of the 4 here. I'm actually changing the title of this video right now. Jaxon Smith-Njigba is the most important person in the world. All right, and we've got Drake May. Wow, a sidekick recommending Drake May at 4. Who would have thought? Bumper sticker that says, "My other spy is a New England stack." How close have you come to dropping your real baby? Not close. Not close. Shout out to him, man. I will tell you guys a funny story though. So when my wife was pregnant with my son, she would do a lot of bouncing on the yoga ball, just because like it's the only thing that helps like your hips. And so he really likes to be bounced on the bouncing ball. Yeah, sure. Oh, JSN, I can't pass on JSN here. And I'm sitting there, I'm holding him in my arms, I'm bouncing on the bouncy ball in my den, and I popped it. I'm just sitting there bouncing on the yoga ball, just holding my son, we're hanging out. And boom, pop. Crazy. I think what happened is that it rolled over one of my puppy's toys. I don't know though, but I know it was very it was very startling. No one really knew what to make of it. He didn't know what to make of it. I didn't know what to make of it. All right. So we've got Drake May, JSN, add in Diggs, and then I actually don't care what the next shit. I was gonna say I'm definitely taking Ramondre next, but probably not, because Hunter Henry is more important. Yeah, that ball was telling me it's time to cut. I am cutting, bro. I'm cutting pretty good, actually. I'm a little sick right now, but I'm on a good trajectory. I had 386 grams of protein yesterday. That's how it's done. I've been lifting good. Actually been running a little bit. Yeah, too many gains. Got to lay off the squats. My son just turned 8 weeks old. Just past 8 weeks. No, see, the key is if you're going to eat that much protein, you also have to you got to hit the fiber supplements as well. Wow, and we get Ramondre. Bang. The fuck you eat, a neutron star? No, honestly, eating that much protein is not that hard if you just fully eliminate carbohydrates. So, and obviously some of it is, some of the stuff I'm eating is processed, so it's like protein bars, protein powder and stuff, but like for breakfast, all I have is protein powder. And like for snacks, if I'm ever gonna have a snack, like, oh, like I'm hungry in between meals, the only thing I eat is protein based. So it's like, oh, you want a snack? You can have a hard boiled egg. You want a snack? You can have a protein bar. Like no carbs or fats in between meals. Does it make sense to do does it make sense to do Swift, or should I actually do Walker? I'm gonna do Walker. So we got a nice little thing cooking here. 400 400 yards against a middle school team. WJ. God, I picked the best time to walk in. The core powers are pretty good. Those have fats in them though. Which is not, I mean, I'm not demonizing fats or carbs. Like your body needs all of it. But if you're really trying to lose weight, um you gotta just really up the protein and really lower the other stuff. That's like 10 chickens sleeping all night. He's not sleeping all night yet. He does do a pretty good job at night though. I gotta hand it to him. He is not a great sleeper during the day. He basically has to be held, but at night he does a pretty good job. All right. And because we have Diggs, oh man, this is definitely going to end up being a Metcalf team, but we can add in Booty here, and then we can use the backdoor DK Metcalf wide receiver point. Yeah, I do sauna all the time. Basically 5 times a week. Favorite source of fiber? I mean, eat as many veggies as you can, but I also just take a fiber supplement every day. Try and get like 25 grams. Does Woody Marks make sense here, or am I tripping? Does he not? I guess I kind of think Schultz is maybe more important, or Marks. Does Marks does Marks make sense? God, it's okay. All right. All right, Woody, come on down. I don't know if that really made sense. Yeah, fats get I am not anti-fat. It's just a matter of what you're trying to get out of your life at a given time. My favorite source of fiber is Romeo Dubs. Who scores more in week 1, Tootin or Gainwell? Gainwell by a lot, I bet. Gainwell by a significant amount. Yeah, I knew we'd be getting to this portion of the draft where it started to recommend me Tet. Um, can I take anyone else? Can I take I don't really want to take Tet. Can I take Jaden Reed? Metcalf, Higbee, Barner? All right. It's just saying I need the wide receiver points. So whatever. There you go. If Tedroy McMillan is the guy you need. Can we discuss Reed versus Dubs? I mean, I think the market seems a little bit light on Mr. Reed right now, personally. Reed just had some of his highest consecutive route shares, like of his career. P-Wash goes 2 rounds ahead of Jacoby and BRs, but still behind in playoff best ball. Oh my god, dude, I'm so far behind on BRs. Damn, okay. I actually was thinking about taking Sharps here. Metcalf, Rico Dowdle, Douglas. These guys all suck. These are all terrible players. I'm taking Jaden Reed. That's off the board there. I don't want to take 2 one and dones. I don't want to take Metcalf and T-Mac. That is too much, right? Am I crazy? That feels like too much. All right. We should have a good amount of round 1 wide receiver points now. I don't need Metcalf. I don't need Dowdle. Yeah, I don't need these guys. Um the tight end is actually a bigger need right now, I think. I'm going to take Shaheed. Set up. Yeah, cuz now I've got it. Now I've got a full New England Seattle Super Bowl. All right. Still wants me to take Dowdle. Are Dowdle and T-Mac ever getting there in the same game? All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for a New England Seattle Super Bowl. So these really are just all advance rate pieces. And if they're all advance rate pieces, I'm taking a guy who can fill in at tight end. You know what? Richard just said in the chat, take Dawson Knox. Jags suck versus the tight end. Done. All right. So May, Stevenson, JSN, Diggs, Henry, Walker, Booty, Marks, Tet, Jaden Reed, Shaheed, and Dawson Knox. So just trying to advance a New England Seattle Super Bowl on that one. Cruising. Panthers sneak out a win. Now that's a take. That's a take. Don't know if I can get there. I will say DK it is difficult. Not difficult, but I will say I would have a hard time cuz I do draft some of these on my phone, and it is a lot harder to draft DraftKings drafts without the sidekick. All right, got a bunch of emails. So this is what happens as I stream for 2 hours, and then I have like 600 emails that I end up missing. Shout out to Tyler Plays, by the way, who just started following on Twitch. Love that. Panthers got 3 long TDs first game and got owned. Other than those 3 plays, Stafford's going to make sure to put them away by halftime this game. I am inclined to agree. All right, we're drafting out of the 3 hole here again in this one. Ooh, Puka, the advance rate piece. That's what they're saying, brother. I've heard it. I've heard they're saying that. By the way, neither here nor there, but there's a ton of space left in the Splash $1 million playoff survivor. I'm probably going to pile a couple of entries in there. If any of you guys want to hop in, I'm probably going to fire a couple entries in there. Yeah, but the big Splash Sports survivor is going to overlay. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, we're drafting from the 3 hole here. Yeah, the Millie is filling super fast. Yes, it is. I think we executed a good Seahawks team that last time. Executing a good Seahawks playoff team. What is it going to want me to do from the 3 hole here? Is this going to be a Josh Allen team? Is this going to be a Drake May team? I am beginning to believe more and more that JSN is the guy you need. I'm now to the point that I'm so excited for these games to start. I was obviously when the Chiefs like when their season ended, I was super bummed out. Well, all right, I guess we're gonna take McCaffrey from 3. Outside of your playoff best ball, do you have any other bets for the playoffs or fandom bags? Well, I'm a Chiefs fan, so no bags. I guess I am rooting for all of the Oklahoma quarterbacks in the postseason. So I am rooting for Jalen Hurts. I am rooting for Caleb Williams, and I would have been rooting for Baker Mayfield had the Buccaneers qualified for the postseason. Do I like DraftKings or underdog playoff format better? I mean, I like them both. I am playing both. So it's yeah. I just think to me playoff best ball is like basically like my favorite form of fantasy because it combines all kinds of different elements. Like it's a pretty heavy game theory game. Uh wow. This These they keep giving me these CMC James Cook teams. These are absurd. Yeah, this will be the most playoff best ball teams I have ever drafted for sure. Seahawks defense is the X factor. Darnold can't win it all. I think it's true. I think it's true for the Texans as well. I think that if Darnold and Stroud just take care of the ball, they can walk themselves into a Super Bowl. Now, interesting that it would want Hurts here. Very interesting. I'm gonna pass on Hurts. Um, I know why it wants me to do it, but I'm gonna pass on Hurts and do ETN because I think it can allow me to set up a potentially pretty. This guy just took Sharps at 14. Is that a misclick? Yes. I do. I do have a referral code for Splash. It's just code Swole, Andrew. Or maybe Swole. I think it's Swole. But either of those will work on Splash, Andrew. And if you click on that link I put in the chat, it will work. Can have a 5K roll for the season. Not familiar with DraftKings. Should I be in those streets? I mean, I will say there are pros and cons and benefits of all formats. I'm partnered with DraftKings right now. What I like, and I think what a lot of people like about DraftKings is that you just get to play against a lot of people who have no idea what they're doing, which is always interesting. Someone started CMC Cook and proceeded to draft 3 more running backs straight away. Well, I kind of just did that with ETN, but I have an idea here, and I think I'm going to be able to execute it. Actually, I think the room is giving it to me right now as I take I want Purdy with CMC because this room is screwy enough that I should be able to get Jennings and I should be able to take Parker Washington at 4. So maybe not. Maybe this guy to my left is actually just enough of a loose cannon that it won't be able to happen. All right. Well, literally every player I just wanted just went. Okay. I have to call an audible. And I think that audible can be done with the Bears. So we're going to do Burden. Why did Parker Washington, Trevor Lawrence, Jacoby Myers, and Juwan Jennings all just go right there? Are these dudes messing with me? What is Jonathan 13 do? I think Jonathan 13 is just trolling me. Oh, well, that's the way she goes. You got that right there. That's drafting on DraftKings. That's the way she goes. You can't get mad about it, man. Because at the end of the day, we are all just, we're all just, a random assorting of molecules on a floating rock in the vacuum of space, waiting for the entropic heat death of the universe. So why get mad that someone took Parker Washington and Jawan Jennings? Exactly. That's drafting on DraftKings. Hashtag DK partner. Hashtag DK partner. And Colston Loveland makes a ton of sense here. So we are going to do Colston Loveland. So now we actually have kind of built a cool team where McCaffrey is actually going to function as Jimmy says. Like, what's going to happen is McCaffrey is actually just going to function as the advance rate piece here. Now, obviously, I could end up getting sniped on Caleb as well. You know, sometimes that's the way she goes. Wow, here's a good stat. This is a really good stat from my friend Graham Barnfield from Fantasy Points. Slightly favored teams, -2 or -3 spread, are 2-9 straight up on wildcard weekend since the playoff expanded. The more you learn. All right, we're gonna take DeAndre Swift first because we need Caleb Moore, but without Swift, the team doesn't make any sense. What is this fella doing? He's got Josh Allen, Kittle, Sharps, Parker Wash, Jennings. He's clueless. Depends on if you believe any of the recent dark energy papers. I will do a Hold'em NFFC team, Rigo, but it's not gonna be today. I'm not there yet in my research phase. I probably am going to I will probably get one done after doing the FFPC show tonight with the Swolecast boys. Is the plan. All right. So if I don't get Caleb, what is my plan here? Because any of these guys could take Caleb for any reason. I guess you gotta be thinking about what the plan is. Win Slappy Opto. I think last night on the show, I think they did do the Slappy Opto, Jeremy. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the Slappy Opto was featured on the Ship Chasing channel last night. And we're doing Karane's ownership projections this afternoon or this evening. All right, we got Caleb. Oh, I just realized this team has no wide receivers. Purdy, McCaffrey, Burden, Loveland, Cook, ETN, Swift. So we are probably every pick for the remainder of this draft is going to be a wide receiver. What a strange draft. Yeah, they did the Boomer Opto and then they did the Slappy Opto on the show last night. All right. So we do Rome, we do more. You know, it would be nice, obviously, to get Brian Thomas Jr. on this team. Feels like we're less likely to get contested on Brian Thomas Jr. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna take BTJ first here. I'm glad I caught that. Because if we get one of Rome or more, then we're set. Can't do the Slappy Opto without the Slappy King. I mean, people do forget. Mr. Jacob Sanderson was the one who came up with the seal idea. You know, without Jacob, there's none of this. Can't have his observation of the seals in the Pacific Ocean marina. Yeah, it definitely would benefit the Bears. It definitely would benefit Sidekick users if the Packers scored like 42 points in round one. That much is for certain. Hoping the battle for attention between puppy and baby is past. If it happens again, just explain to your dog who the DraftKings avatar is. You know what? That's a good point. Look at that cute little mutt. We do get Rome. No, the dog and the baby are starting to gain an understanding with one another, Dave. And and also, like, he's 2 months old. We're really starting to get into more of a routine around here. And which means that it's a little bit easier to take care of the baby, or of the puppy, actually, because once you kind of figure out what you're doing, it's a little bit easier to spend time with the dog. Now we get one Mr. DJ Moore, and I think that gives us our 6 bears, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bears, but can be oh no, 6 bears burden. Okay, so 6 bears. So we have a full Bears Super Bowl if need be. Is it worth it to go 6 guys on the same team? I think so. Yeah. It yeah, because it just gives you more potential options in a given Super Bowl. Bears, I tend to agree the Bears Packers does feel a bit like a 13-10 game. I think you're probably right. Almost all my snipe drafts, I end up with either 4 Bears or 4 Packers. What a nice surprise it would be to see one of those teams luck box in a Super Bowl. I don't think there's any luck boxing about the Super Bowl this year. I just think the field is as wide open as it really could possibly get. All right, so T-Mac is the advance rate round 1. There's not really another Jag to add. I could add another AFC piece theoretically, but not really. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way to fill out a 49ers Jags Super Bowl, right? Because I got Purdy, I got McCaffrey, I got BTJ, I got ETN. Yeah, no way. No way to do it. T-Mac, Komet, Warren. Whatever. Yeah, let's just do Tet. All right. Well, I tried to do something. Where did it go wrong? I guess it went wrong because this dude snapped off Washington. This guy snapped off Lawrence Myers, and Jennings went. So I just couldn't fill out the numbers, and I had to call the audible. Now, the audible worked. So I should be in a good spot to advance this team. But just, sometimes you got to call an audible. They call that playing on your toes, boys. Damn, this contest is filling fast. This is gonna fill today. This is gonna fill today. Yeah, we are. The people are thirsty and hungry for playoff best ball. Who knew? Who knew that if DraftKings did a $1 million to first place contest, that people would be that excited to do it? I think some people knew. I think some people had the idea, and I'm very glad they are doing it. How many do I have left to max? An uncomfortable amount. I think I have over 75 to do, I think. Actually, maybe exactly 75. What's more crazy in 2025? Sam Sherman winning BBM or Jocelyn tray flipping El Toro? To me, it's my guy, my man BBG. Check him out on YouTube, by the way. To me, it's Jocelyn. Because I just waited. I waited my whole life for someone to do that. I couldn't believe it happened at the time. Like I also in my mind, I always counted the OG Jocelyn tray flip down El Toro when his axle broke. So to see him right away the way he did, I mean, truly incredible. I have watched Gifted Hater. I don't like I don't religiously watch him, but I have watched Gifted Hater. You know what? Probably so many people watching this don't even know about the tray flip down El Toro. Can I pull up a video of it? I know. I can't believe he went back either. His kids were there. Insane shit, dude. Okay, I'm gonna play the clip after I make this pick. What do we got here? A little Jay Allen team, little Drake May team, little Barkley. You know what? I've not done an Eagles team yet today, so let's do Barkley. Hold on, I've got it up. Uh, can I in the My War does it show the land? Is it gonna show the land? It might not. Is this it? Nope. Come on. Come on, show the land. Oh, here it is. This is basically the coolest trick in skateboarding history you guys are about to see. I can't even for someone who doesn't understand the context of skateboarding, I don't think there's any way to explain it, but that is basically like that's like the 13-second equivalent for Mahomes, like coming back down or like Brady. That you know what? Maybe more like the Brady comeback. Barkley and AJ Brown. That's a you remember where you were when you heard it. Yeah, it's El Toro. It's just the name of a high school in Los Angeles. Well, I think it's the name of the high school. El Toro, whatever. Yes. How about that? Yeah, it's like the Malcolm Butler interception. Eagles and 49ers are just so solid because you can get the 5-man units, which I think is like a pretty big edge as opposed to El Toro is also a roller coaster. Who knew? Who knew? I did not know. It's a combo of the both. Combo of the height of the stairs. The stairs are I think 12.5 feet tall, and the board movement. Both things are absurd. The combination of the board movement and the height of the stairs. Yeah, I mean, it's like I honestly like that's how I feel like pulling on like an Olympic. You put on an Olympic sport you've never seen before, and you're like, what am I watching here? Got fed a bunch of Andy Anderson content last month. Yes, that stuff hits. All right, so we got Barkley, AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts. How many stairs can I do that on? In my peak, in my prime, maybe like 5, maybe 6. The answer now, few 3. I'm the my bones are brittle and old. Small world. I know Chris Jocelyn's ex father-in-law pretty well. That is a small world. That is a very small world. All right, so Devonta got snapped from me by Matt Dunbar 12, which actually I think is fine for him to have done there. So we take Goddard now. So we only have the 4 Little Eagles. So we'll need to be a little bit more aggressive with some AFC Super Bowl potential matches. That's a high school in South Orange County, an area that gets really mad if you call them Los Angeles. Okay, good to know. El Toro Six Flags, shout out Jersey. I love Eagles stacks. Advance rate is so good with them. 49ers too. Think the Eagles D gets them the next round. All the Ds in the AFC are tough. Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if Philadelphia, Los Angeles puts out some really good fantasy scores. All right. Ooh, you know what? This could actually be a really good one to pivot to the Broncos. You're right. Is that the equivalent of a Tony Hawk 900? I would honestly say more impressive. Without Pat's assistance, what does your NFL bracket look like? I think I agreed. I think I agreed with Pat and I's bracket. I wouldn't make too many significant diversions there. Now now Shady. Now Sack. What is Josh Jacobs doing for me here? What am I learning? What's happening? All right, well, I can't get him anyway. Um I'm gonna try and do the Broncos stuff. I have like no Broncos teams. Back in the day, we would skate the same spots as old P-Rod. Ran into him at Bellflower a couple times. You know, it's funny is I actually knew some of those guys when I was young, Ricky, because Sean Malto is from Kansas City, and I knew some of Malto's friends. So I got to meet and hang out with a bunch of those guys when I was you know, really young, like 13, 14, 15. That Jacobs is projected for 30 points round one. Well, you never know. All right. This is where I just completely crowbar the kick. And the kick just has to take what I'm feeding into it. Cortland Sutton. We're doing it. We're launching it. Did I ever skate competitively? I mean, yeah, I did skateboarding contests and stuff. Not at like a real high level or anything. Like I never went to Japan or whatever, like any of these like huge contests, but I was sponsored. I had some connections in the industry. DK drafts are enough to put me in a psych ward. Feels like everyone else in the lobby is a psyop to make my life miserable. I mean, that's why you have to shield your mind. You have to put on your tin foil hat, JB, and you just gotta lock in. You need to do that to your opponents. You can't let them do that to you. You have to impose your psychosis on your opponents. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now this is a good spot for Jaquavius Woody Marks because we can set up Denver. Someone said it. Someone in the chat just said Denver, Houston. That's like exactly what this is going to end up being. It's true. It is. It's psychological warfare, and you just have to outlast your opponents. Yes. Shout out to you. Imposing psychosis would be a fire book. I would read that. I would for sure read that. All right. So it wants Metcalf for the advance. We knew we were going to be light on advancing, but more important to get Bo Nix for what I'm trying to do here. And if we don't get Metcalf, we can get T Mac anyway. Yeah, yeah. Competitive in skateboarding is a really loose word. It's real. It's real. Recognizes real. All right, Bo Nix. So we do now have the three big scoring Broncos. We've got nothing at wide receiver, so I do sense some DK Metcalf. We are Tyler, we are just going out. Really, it's I mean, I'm sure you know this, but if you're taking your newborn baby infant out to lunch, you're not trying to do too much. I was supposed to stream with Herzig today, but Herzig is actually flying to Sri Lanka to help the DraftKings game integrity team. So not actually. I was supposed to stream with Herzig today. He couldn't make it. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just start the show early. And if I start the show early, that means I can end early and I can take an hour break and we can go have lunch. And then I can come home and finish working later. All right. So T Mac goes. So that's one of my advance rate pieces. You know what? I'm actually going to take hot take. I'm taking Dalton Schultz here. Schultz can work as an advance rate. I don't think I'm at much risk of losing Metcalf here, but now I've got the AFC side of the bracket covered. Could even take Ingram later too. But we're going to take, all right, so I did lose Metcalf. Tough. All right, well, Lad McConkey just became the most important person in the world. People are saying, "Oh my god! All right, I'm getting killed. All right, I played bad. I don't know better than the sidekick. The sidekick knows better than me. Shady and Sacrilegious and Karain are smarter than me. I played bad, and I'm getting punished. All right, hand up. The computer knows more than me. All right, all right. Oh, just give up, Davis, you idiot. Oh, what if Romeo Dub? Oh, killer right there, dude. I am. I'm doing the Happy Gilmore speech to the sidekick. And I didn't even, you know what? I didn't even notice Jaden Higgins was gone either. If I had noticed Jaden Higgins was gone, I wouldn't have even taken Schultz because it wouldn't have I didn't even have the backdoor Texans stuff there. Ooh. Jahan Dotson ass team is what this is going to end up looking like. All right. So we have the 4 Eagles. We have 3 Broncos. We have 2. I guess I do have 2 Texans. The issue is just none of them is a wide receiver. Is if I take QJ for advance rate, is Jalen Knoll going to pop up? I don't think I maybe have taken Bryce Young once, like when I got fully boxed out at quarterback. I don't think I can afford to take Pat Bryant. I think I have to get points. I think if it still wants, I took QJ. If it still wants me to take, yeah, okay. What if I told you Wicks on the Packers was the key? I don't know if I would believe you. All right, so I got to find a round 1 advancing score out of Romeo Dubs or QJ. Or Keenan maybe, or maybe I just take Keenan. Because I just don't think I can advance out of round 1 with Dubs and QJ. I don't think it works, brothers. I know why Pat Bryant adds. I'm taking Keenan. I just got to find more ways to get points in round 1. We're gonna do Keenan. All the DK collusion drafts already got canceled. I don't know if you saw Herzig's tweet, but he said that he had a meeting with the DK game integrity people, and they were already well on top of it. I guess I could have taken so the reason why I didn't take Gainwell for advancement is that the only wide receivers I have for round 1 in my wide receiver 2 slot are Romeo Dubs and QJ. So I needed more wide receiver points. Do you see a difference in the efficacy of the sidekick in the way too early drafts and now when the data is more concrete? I mean, it's got way more. It just can lock in way more, so it gets better with more information. But it still had an edge in the early stuff too. I think it's a good place to end. 400 grams of protein. It's called getting big, Nick. DK just has a like part of their company is a group of people who are employed to make sure that no one is cheating or colluding in any of their games. So it's all it is. You know, it's like compliance, HR, marketing. Like they have a group of people that works for DraftKings that are just to keep the integrity of the games up. All right, everyone. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for daily fantasy football videos, and I will be back with you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching.